Oh, all right. All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to Jazz at Lincoln Center's Young People's Concert entitled, What is New Orleans Jazz? Now, do y'all know the name of that song that we just played? What is it called? The what? The huh? The what? That's what I'm talking about. I'm Wynton Marsalis, and joining me today are Victor Goines on the clarinet, Carlos Henriquez on the bass, Ali Jackson on the drums, Ricky Gardner on the washboard and other things, Dan Nimmer on the piano, Vincent Gardner on the trombone, our special guest, the cultural ambassador from New Orleans, Mr. Irvin Mayfield on the trumpet. Now that's right. That was entitled The Second Line, and you all know that the second line is a group of people that follows a jazz band down the street during a parade. And before we finish today, we're gonna get a chance to see y'all come out here and do some second lining. And let me tell you, that's right. That's right. We're gonna have pandemonium in here. And the better the second liners dance, the better the musicians play. Okay? Now, let me give y'all a little history. Now, I know I'm getting y'all out of school. I know I'm not going to have to be mean up in here. The second line parade and jazz were born around the turn of the 20th century right here in the Crescent City. Now, at that time, many different types of people lived together in neighborhoods. I'm talking about French people, Spanish, descendants of all types of Africans, Caribbean people, in other words, Americans. But the thing is that even though these people lived close to one another, you know what? They really didn't like each other. Oh, they were fighting and arguing about everything. Then the streets, they didn't have pavement, it was just dust, and it rains a lot, so you know it'd be dirt, and they had a lot of horses. So you know what happens when you have horses and dust and dirt? It's nasty. So it was nasty, and the people didn't like each other, but you know what the music did? It gave them a chance to get closer together, and you know why? Because even though they didn't like each other, they loved the music. And when they heard that music, it let them know that we are ourselves. The music brought the community together. Now, the first person to play jazz in New Orleans was a cornetist named Buddy Bolden. Let me hear y'all say, Buddy Bolden. Buddy Bolden. Buddy Bolden. They say Buddy Bolden could play so loud that he could play way across the river in Algiers and people in New Orleans could hear his trumpet. Now, how loud is that? That's loud, that's right. But the thing that made him special is that he knew what all of these people who didn't like each other, he knew what they had in common. You see, he was like a translator, except instead of translating languages, he translated human feelings and emotion into the language of music. You know what? He realized that people all got jealous, they all got happy, they all were hungry at certain times, they all felt full after they ate. He realized that they all had relatives that they didn't like and some that they did like. He realized that they got sick, and he knew how to put this knowledge of what everyone had in common into music. And the music he played with his band became known as jazz music. And they showed everyone that New Orleans jazz was about people working together with feeling and style. Now, this working together is called collective improvisation. So I want to hear y'all say again, Buddy Bolden. Now I want you to say collective improvisation. Collective improvisation. Now that might sound like two big words, but it's not really that intimidating. First of all, what does collective mean? It means together, right? Together, collective, huh? Collective, together. Improvisation, what does that mean? What? Well, I can't hear you. Let me hear that. What? Tell me that again. Oh, you got some cute glasses. That's right, you make it up. So collective improvisation means you make it up together. Now, example of collective improvisation would be a conversation. For example, let's say there's conversation between Mr. Irvin Mayfield and Mr. Vincent Gardner. They're just going to speak to each other, and you're going to see it. They're making it up, and it's collective.
Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm pretty good, Mr. Mayfield. How are you this evening?
I can't complain. You having a good day today?
Yeah, everything's going all right. It's hot outside, but you know.
It's too hot for you?
No, it's not too hot.
Come down to my mama's house and get some Kool-Aid.
Oh, yeah? She got the red kind?
Red and green.
Okay, now you heard them have a conversation, right? They went back and forth. Now we're going to hear them have a conversation in music. Check it out. You hear that? That's right. Now I want y'all to realize something about these two things. Now, wait a second. Before we get too happy, improvisation gives you the freedom to express your personality. But collective means, that collective part, it means that you have to also listen to someone else and accommodate their personality. You can't just get up there and play whatever you want to play. There's no room for ego tripping. Like, let's see what would happen if they had this conversation and Mr. Gardner, for example, decided he wants to play loud and just play any kind of thing, regardless of what Mr. Mayfield is playing. Man, you see what I'm saying? You see what that sounds like? It's obvious if you're playing too loud, you can't listen to what anyone else is playing. So learning how to speak and listen to one another is important for everyday conversation, and it's also important for collective improvisation. Now, let's check out what happens when they listen to each other and speak at the same time and play and work things out. This is the finest of collective improvisation in the New Orleans style. All right. Now I want you to notice when Mr. Mayfield was playing, he was looking somewhere. He don't know where he was looking. He was trying to find something. He's trying to find those ideas. And Mr. Gardner, he's looking too. So they're trying to find each other out here somewhere. And all of the instruments in jazz speak and converse with each other. Now we're going to find out how that happens. And we're going to start with the very center of the band. If I had to ask you, what is the most important instrument up here, with the exception, of course, of the most noble and important trumpet, what would you say it is? What? Who said that? The what? It's the what? It's the who? The what? The huh? That's right, it's the drums. It's the drums. Okay, stop all of that hollering and screaming. What's wrong with y'all? We're in public. It's the drums. The drums are the most important instrument up here. The drums. The drums are the foundation of this music and the heart of the band. And the foundation of the drum set is the bass drum. And the bass drum plays the basic rhythm of New Orleans music. And we call that basic rhythm the Big Four. Now let me hear y'all say Big Four. Big Four. Buddy Bolden. Collective improvisation. The Big Four. Now we're going to learn how to count it. We're going to say a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now y'all hear that? Okay, that's the bass drum. And this accent on 4 gives a New Orleans march something special. It's a little lilt. Now that was important because a long time ago, people would be in their house eating some gumbo or some red beans and rice, and the bands would come down the street and they would be playing in a parade. Okay, now here's what the bass drum normally plays in a traditional march. So the people be marching down the street like this. Now, are you going to leave your house to see somebody do that? No. The only way you're going to leave your house is if they have some type of military equipment with them. Okay? Now, that's what they were doing. Now, look, when they started playing that accent on the Big Four, look what the people started doing in the street. You know what I'm talking about. I know every one of y'all in here know exactly what I'm talking about. That's what the Big Four did. Now, we're talking about collective improvisation. We heard about a conversation, call and response. Well, in the drum set, 2 instruments converse with each other. The highest pitched drum is the snare drum, and that's the drum that commands the most attention and intention. So people in the military, Scottish Coast Guard or something, be playing the snare drum, they play like this. Okay, now let's hear the snare drum talk to the bass drum. Listen to this conversation. Okay, that's beautiful. Ali Jackson on the drums. Now here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make all of this into one big drum set. I want y'all to stay with me. Now, this is our bass drum right here. Okay, here's what I want y'all to say. Boom, 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 ba-boom, boom, 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 ba-boom, boom, 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 ba-boom, boom, 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 ba-boom, boom. I can't hear y'all. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, this is not a bass drum. Wait, where's my bass drum? I'm gonna send y'all back to math class. Boom, 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 boom. Let me hear my bass drum. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, you my snare drum over here. Let's go. Keep my bass drum going. Dot, 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 dot. Dot, 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 boom, 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 boom. Okay, now y'all see why we need musicians. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay? All right. Now the drums are not the only one keeping the groove together. What else do you see up here? The what? That's right. All of that is up here. But now I'm talking about the bass. And the string bass functions like a clock. It keeps time. Tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock, tick. Okay. Tock, tick. Tie your shoes. Tie your shoes. Get that shoestring. Okay, now let me ask you this. I want y'all to notice that tick-tock is just like that marching they were doing, all stiff like that. You're going to get tired of doing that after a while. Okay, so what do? Instead of tick-tock, 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 they start to add little notes and dips and stuff to it. And these notes are called syncopation. I want y'all to say syncopation. Syncopation. Buddy Bolden. Collective improvisation. The Big Four. Syncopation. And syncopation is when you do something unexpected with the beat. Now we heard the clock, tick tock, tick tock. Now we're going to hear it with some syncopation. Let's check it out. Tick tock, tick tock. That's right. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. That's right. Okay. Now you hear that. What we're going to listen to now is we're going to hear the bass and the drums converse. And I want you to notice that they trade ideas back and forth just like Irvin and Vincent did. Let's check it out. You see that? Okay, y'all like that? Okay, lie. If you don't like it, tell me you like it. Now the face of the band is what we call the front line. And the front line consists of 3 instruments. The noble trumpet, the little less noble clarinet, and the downright abject trombone. Okay, now these instruments play in different registers, and a register just means where the notes of an instrument sound. You have high, middle, and low. Just like when I told y'all to sing that bass drum, since most of you have high-pitched voices, you're like, man, what is he talking about? Boom, boom, boom. I'm a beam, beam, beam. That's not a bass drum. You see? It's like the animal kingdom. Chickens, small birds, and clarinets in the high register. Ducks, medium-sized dogs, and trumpets in the middle register. Cows, bears, big dogs, and elephants, and trombones in the low register. Now we're going to let a New Orleans song teach us about different registers. This song is entitled The Audubon Zoo. So if I start singing in the trumpet register, well, I went on down to the Audubon Zoo, and they all asked for you. Wait a second now. We're not getting to the monkeys yet. Okay, that's the middle register. Now let's hear, what about the clarinet register? If he sings that same melody in a higher register, the same notes, but just higher, what does it sound like? Mr. Victor Goines. Well, I went on down to the Audubon Zoo, and they all asked for you. Okay, what about the trombone? What about the trombone register?
Well, I went on down to the Audubon Zoo, and they all asked for you.
Ooh. You see that? Now, when the trumpet, the clarinet, and trombone play the same melody in different registers, we have a full range of instrumental color, and it sounds good, good, good. Let's check it out with the 3 instruments playing that same melody you just heard them sing in the different registers. You see that? Okay. Okay. Now let's see what happens if they all sing in the different registers. Ready? Well, I went on down to the Audubon Zoo and they all asked for you. See that? It's not bad. But let me tell you this. I told you that improvisation means you get to do a little bit of your thing. Well, if you have to play the same notes with the same instruments in different registers, that might drive you crazy. So in New Orleans jazz, the trumpet generally plays the melody. The clarinet accompanies the trumpet from above in a higher register, and the trombone does it from the bottom. Okay, so let's start. We're going to hear the melody. Mr. Mayfield is going to play this melody for us in the New Orleans style so you can hear what the trumpet does. That's mainly what we do. Look noble and play with great nobility and feeling. Now the clarinet, there's a lot of different effects that the clarinet, you see all those keys it has on it? You see that? Do you know that? Well, it plays a lot of fast notes like trills, arpeggios, and something we call runs. It's when they play scales very fast. Oh, he's from New Orleans too. And this, he learned how to do that right here. And they also can do something that we call glissando. Let me hear y'all say glissando. I like that. This is a glissando. Oh, what's wrong with you, man? Now the trombone accompanies the trumpet from below by using punctuated notes. Like trombones like to boom, boom. Growls, like you didn't clap for the clarinet like that. Growls, he likes to make sounds like growls. Oh, they also like to do glissandos too, you know. The clarinet did one real high. Let's see what a trombone glissando sounds like. Okay, there's a style of New Orleans trombone known as tailgating. Let me hear y'all say tailgating. Tailgating. Glissando. Buddy Bolden. Collective improvisation. The Big Four. Oh, we learning a lot of stuff in here today. You see that? I got you. Now, the reason they call it tailgating is because a long time ago, bands used to be in a cart. And the cart would be driven by horses, and the bands would be advertising things in the street about soap or buy this kind of thing, or we're going to have a dance on Friday. And when the musicians would sit down in the cart, the trombone would have the slide hitting everybody. And a lot of fights started because it was hot, and people were mad, you hit me with your slide, man, stop doing that. So they said, look, hang your slide out the back of the cart so that it's like a tail. So the trombone player, all the trumpets and everybody who had good common sense would be in the middle playing, and here's the trombone hanging out the back. Okay? We're going to, man, you're not playing with you. But another thing, you got to leave trombone players alone because they almost always are big. So you got to be very careful. And they like to fight. So you got to be very careful messing with them. But we're going to hear now a three-way conversation with the trumpet playing the melody, the clarinet doing all of this stuff up high, and the trombone tailgating down below. Let's check it out. You see that, how that sounds? Okay. I like that. Now, we almost forgot about our friend, the piano. Okay, let's talk about the piano. The piano alone can imitate an entire band. That's why we don't like them. The piano can play the trumpet part. The piano can play the clarinet part. Oh. Even the trombone part, but just without all the glissandoing and stuff like that. The piano can play the bass part. Now let's see what it sounds like when the piano plays all of those things. This is Dan Nimmer, the great New Orleans pianist from Milwaukee. Okay. Now really the pianist is the brain of the band. The piano, bass, and drums are called the rhythm section, and they play on all beats, forming a comfortable foundation for the band. Now let me hear y'all say rhythm section. Rhythm section. Syncopation. Trumpet is the greatest. Let's hear the rhythm section right now. This is the rhythm section. Okay. Yes, indeed. Okay. Now, New Orleans jazz is about playing together. We've been talking about that. It's about us being together, learning how to converse, express your feelings with style. Now, how do you express your feelings with style? Let's say you saw a car accident. You come in, would you say, I just saw a car accident. 2 cars banged into each other. Would you do that? No, you'd be like, oh, man, you're not going to believe what I saw, too. It was terrible. A car, 2 kapow, stuff all over. Oh, man, oh. I don't believe this. Okay, you put your personality in it. You put your feeling in it, and you mean it. You create that feeling, and we do that with music. We use rhythm and inflection. We call that playing with feeling and playing with blues feeling. We use accents. We scoop notes, and no 2 people are going to bend the note the same way. It's like scrambling an egg. No 2 people scramble an egg the same way. See, we call that your thing. You put a lot of your thing in the music, and when you do that, you have something. Now we're going to play a whole performance of the Audubon Zoo, and I want y'all to listen for the stuff we've been talking about. The big 4. I want y'all to listen for the bass, tick-tock, boom, 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 boom. I want you to listen for syncopation, call and response. I want you to hear the front line, the trumpet, the clarinet, and the trombone. Just check it out. Check it out.
Went on down
They all ask for you. They all ask for you. Everybody there, they want to know where. They all ask for you. They all ask for you. They all ask for you. Everybody there, they want to know where. They all ask for you. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Now we learned a lot of stuff already. We learned a whole pile of stuff. Now we got one other stuff we're going to learn about. One other stuff. You see, you got to remember one other stuff. You got to watch out for it. Now the one stuff we're going to learn about is called call and response. Okay? Call and response. And that's very simple. We started with the trumpet call from second line, right? Let's see, Mr. Mayfield, hit that call for us. This is the call. And we say, yay! What? All right, let me see that. Let's see that again. Okay. Now we're going to hear a call and response. Mr. Gardner and Mr. Goines, they're going to sing, oh, yes, my bucket's got a hole in it, and I'm going to respond. Let's see what that's about.
Oh, yes, my bucket's got a hole in it. Oh, yes, my bucket's got a hole in it. Oh, yes, my bucket's got a hole in it. And I can't say no more. Oh, yes, my bucket's got a hole in it. Oh, yes, my bucket's got a hole in it. Oh, yes, my bucket's got a hole in it. And I can't say no more.
All right. Now that's a call and response. What if I tell you beep ba la da dum? What beep ba la da dum? And if somebody calls out your name, you respond, what? Or if you have manners, you say yes. Or if you have real good manners, you say, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, or yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Now we're going to learn three things about New Orleans jazz, and that's going to be it for us. First thing we're going to learn about is called a groove. And a groove happens when the bass and the drums interact. And we're going to learn that by hearing a great song called the St. Louis Blues. First, let's hear the bass. Okay, here's my bass section over here. Let me hear my basses. Boom, bing, boom, boom, bing, boom, boom, bing, boom. Put an accent on it. Bing, boom, boom, bing, boom, boom, bing. Now, when the drums come in and start playing a little simple counter rhythm, it's a groove. Let's see what that's like. Cha 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 cha. Boom, 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 bing, boom. Cha-cha, cha-cha, cha, cha-cha, cha-cha, cha. I don't hear my people. Where's my snare drum? Cha-cha, cha-cha, cha, cha-cha, cha-cha, cha, cha-cha, cha-cha. Boom, 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 bing, boom. Okay, now y'all see why we need musicians. That was it. Okay, that's a groove. Now let's just listen to the bass and the drums and listen to how they play on this groove. Okay, now something that helps a groove along is called a riff. And a riff is just when you repeat the same thing. Be quiet, be quiet, be quiet, be quiet. Leave that boy alone. Leave that boy alone. Okay? That's what we're talking about. That's a riff. Now let's see what that sounds like. You see? We're repeating the same thing over and over again. Oh. Oh, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Oh, yes, indeed. Uh-huh. Okay, now, when the band is, that's called a riff. Let me hear y'all say riff. Syncopation. Collective improvisation. The Big Four. Buddy Bolden. The rhythm section. Now, the very last thing we're going to talk about is called a break. Say break. And a break is when the whole band stops and one person is left to do the best they can with the rhythm, and you better not mess that rhythm up or the whole band is going to be mad when they come back in. Now, we happen to have a band here who won an award for being the best player of breaks in the United States for the year 2005, and he won a year-long supply of chitlins, and it's signed by the Secretary of Education. Each chitlin has his name on it, okay? And his name is Vincent Gardner. That's him. He won that award. He's going to pull a certificate out. He has it in his pocket. He left it at home, okay? Now, let's hear how he does with these breaks. Kate Nywood likes this. She likes these kind of breaks. Vincent Gardner. Now y'all see why he won those chitlins signed by the Secretary of Education. Now what he played was called a solo, okay? So we learned about solo, breaks, riffs, groove, call and response, front line, rhythm section, the big four. Okay, now we're gonna play something entitled St. Louis Blues, and I want y'all to listen for these things. St. Louis Blues. All right. Okay. Okay, let's go over some of the stuff we learned about. Buddy Bolden. Okay. Let me see. Let me see what y'all really have learned about this. What is it called when you go boom, 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 boom? The what? The what? Okay, wait a second. I wasn't clear in my question. Now, all right, it's played on the bass drum, but what is the rhythm called? The what? I can't hear y'all. The big who? That's right. That's what it's called. Now, what is it called when you just repeat the same thing over and over again? A what? A what? A what? What is it called when the whole band plays and then they stop and leave one person to play by themselves? Uh-huh. That's right. What is it called when you say ba ba la da da? What do you call that? A what and a what? A what and huh? A what and a what? No, call and response. Call and response. That's what that's called. Call and response. I love you for that, though. Now, what is it called? What is the bass, drums, and piano together? What are they called? The huh? The who what? I can't hear y'all. I'm getting old. I can't hear the what? That's what I thought you said. That's what I thought you said. Now I got one that's a little tricky for you. I got one that's tricky for you because I didn't talk about it long. What is it called if you start off boom, 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 and you start to add a little something extra to the rhythm? What is that called? It's called what? I heard it over here. It's what? What? Syncopation. Syncopation is called. Let me hear you say syncopation. Syncopation. That's what can happen to you if you misbehave a little too much. You can get some syncopated rhythms put on you. Okay, what is it called? What do we call the trumpet, the trombone, and the clarinet? The huh? Don't forget that. Now, I want to thank you all very, very much. You all have been wonderful. Okay? Dan Nimmer on the piano. Dan Nimmer. Vincent Gardner on the trombone. Carlos Henriquez on the bass. Ricky Dirty Red Gordon on the washboard. Ali Jackson on the drums. Victor Goines on the clarinet. Our special guest, Mr. Irvin Mayfield on the trumpet. We'd like to thank y'all very, very much. And we're going to get out of here just like we began. I told y'all we're going to do some second lining. I want to see some people down here. I want to see something, okay? This is not a military operation. I want to see y'all down there second lining. And we're going to play what? The second line. Let's go. Let's see it. Second line.
For a copy of this program, call 1-800-973-7246 or 225-767-4269. Or visit us online at www.lpb.org.